So once you would have completed the setup of you will then need to just double check that all your teeth are still sitting appropriately on the occlusal plane table before moving on to your mandibular model. Okay, so I'm happy. Before you create your rim, what you want to do is just confirm that when you set up your mandibular posterior teeth that they will actually be in line with the center of your ridge. So these lines here that we have drawn and placed at the back of the model to then transfer on the maxillary model to draw the 2mm line are a guide in terms of ensuring that when we do place our mandibular teeth that they will be centered on the ridge. But because there's a possibility of human error, you always need to just double check before starting your actual setup. So I'm going to take a bit of card wax. I'm just going to try and soften it up, and I'm going to place it along the area where the first molars occlude. So I'm going to place it there. So I'm going to place it on either side of the arch. If you don't have card wax, you can always use your pink wax. So again, I'm just going to check for the area where the first molars will occlude. There we go. So what I want to do is place the mandibular first molars, and I'm going to check to see if their developmental grooves are actually along the center of the ridge. And if that's the case, then you can go ahead and set up. But if you find that that is not the case, find the cause of your error and rectify it before setting your lower teeth. So my teeth will occlude like that. They will occlude in the first class relationship. So then I need to just check. Can you see from the top if when placing my ruler, if it actually is in line with the developmental grooves? And yes, that is true. So I need to just check this other side. It's a bit short, so I need to give the wax a bit more height. So I can move ahead to constructing my base plate. You can keep this card wax, you don't have to throw it away. Your rim should sit dead center on the ridge of the mandibular model. Okay, it looks just about fine. So now I'm going to seal this onto the base plate. Okay, you don't want a lot of bulk here anteriorly, because you want it to be that when you're placing your teeth that you kind of know where the center of the ridge is. Maybe what you can do, since this is your very first time setting up the teeth, is you can mark the center of anterior ridge. Okay, and you can transfer that to the sides of your model. So when you're setting up, you know exactly where you should try and position the necks of your teeth, so you won't be guessing. Okay. So I'm going to seal my rim onto my base plate. I'm going to slim down the width of my rim. I can already tell that this width is going to obstruct my view when I'll be setting up the teeth. So I'm just going to slightly trim it down. I'm going to try and slim it down from the buccal and facial sides. So when I'm going to be setting up my teeth, I'm going to start with the posterior teeth. Reason being is whatever space that I'm going to be left with anteriorly, I will then try and fit the anterior teeth. You're going to also find that there are many ways or sequences in setting up your teeth, as long as the fundamental principles of setting up the teeth in terms of angulation, rotation, and inclinations are not changed. So the very first tooth that you're going to set are your molars, because you want to set them to be in a class 1 relationship. At this point in time, just double check on your pen sitting on the incisal table. So I'm just going to mark exactly where the first mandibular molar will be, so that I know exactly how much wax to soften. And the nice thing about setting up the mandibular teeth, it's literally like fitting a puzzle. So you also need to ensure that there's a tight occlusion between the teeth. So as you can see, there's a tight occlusion. And when all the teeth have a tight occlusion, then you would have what is known as centric occlusion. I want to check lingually if the cusps are occluding. So a bit of wax that's obstructing my view, so I also need to remove or melt away that wax. See. Okay, there is nice contact, so you can actually see. It's also important to just note is that your teeth from the buccal view are not slanted or have some sort of inclination. The long axis must be vertical. So as you can see, still have a nice tight contact, which is good. I'm going to try and clear out any wax that's on the occlusal surfaces of my teeth. If you find that there isn't contact between your lingual cusp, you need to lift your mandibular teeth. Once you have set your maxillary teeth and you are setting up your mandibular teeth, you do not ever touch your maxillary teeth at this point in time. If you want to touch your maxillary teeth, you put an occlusal plane table. There's nothing guiding you if you were to try and tweak a maxillary teeth, and then that will actually may end up affecting your entire setup. Nice tight contact between my teeth. It's the same lingually as well. So I'm just sealing in my teeth. So if you look very closely at my base plate, you'll be able to see very lightly my anterior ridge. Can you see my anterior ridge? And can you also see where my teeth have actually ended up? That when I place the mandibular anterior teeth, that they actually will be sitting on the ridge. So what you want is when you place your mandibular anterior teeth is for the necks to actually sit on the ridge. When I say sit, I'm not saying directly sit on the ridge, but they must be at the center of the ridge. I'm just going to see if I look at my teeth from the anterior view that I have what is known as the curve of Wilson. So If you look very carefully, you're going to see that my teeth are actually curved in. They are going in a curve that is like so. So now I'm ready to set up my mandibular anterior teeth. Before I set up my mandibular centrals, I'm just going to transfer my midline to double check with the maxillary midline to see if I've actually placed the midline correctly. Okay, there we go. So what you want to try and achieve when you will be setting your mandibular anterior teeth is you want to create an overjet and an overbite. Maximum overbite that you can create is about 2 millimeters, and maximum overjet you can create is about 3 millimeters. But what I would like you to do is to stick to a 2 millimeter overbite and a 2 millimeter overjet. Go as far as 1 millimeter when it comes to the overjet. So what you want to do when you are setting up your mandibular central incisor, the long axis of the tooth should be perpendicular to the occlusal plane, and the necks must be depressed. So basically what this means is that when you're setting up your mandibular central, there must be no inclination. So it must be straight. Remember, when I'm placing my tooth, I want it to be over the ridge. So like so. And because I want to create, so this is a massive overjet, so I want to actually decrease that overjet. So see, I have then decreased the overjet by making the mandibular teeth incline slightly forward. Can you see that? So you can actually do that as long as this portion of the tooth is actually over the ridge. It looks fine. Currently I don't have much of an overbite, so I need to sort out the overbite. So I need to just lift my teeth slightly up by like 1 millimeter, and I should be fine. Right, and how would I know that I actually have an overbite? When you're looking at your teeth from the frontal view, you must not see any gaps between the teeth. So currently I have an overbite. The mandibular lateral incisor must be set with a slight distal inclination, and the facial surface must be at right angle to the occlusal plane. So you want a slight distal inclination. And it must be at a right angle with the occlusal plane. See? Okay. A way for you to kind of know that you're actually setting your teeth with the correct inclination is you will find that the incisal edges of the teeth will all be flat or have a straight line. So there we go. So as you can see, I'm still maintaining a bit of an overjet jet, so the teeth must not contact anteriorly. And when I would have set up my canines, I will then try and maintain a constant measurement between the mandibular incisal tips and that of the maxillary incisal tips. So then I would have a constant over jet. So the mandibular canine needs to have a more distal inclination than the lateral incisors, and the necks are set to be prominent. So let's see. Okay, so by the looks of things, as you can see, I don't really have much space for my canine. So it's not a train smash, right? What you just need to do is soften the wax between your mandibular teeth, your mandibular posterior teeth, and then with the articulator closed, I'm going to try and slightly move my teeth back without affecting the occlusion between the teeth. Setting up your mandibular anterior teeth is not going to happen the first time you attempt to do it. It will take some tweaking. So can you see I've just slightly moved my tooth there, but I did not affect the occlusion. Right, and for you to actually see that I've actually, I'm trying to create a bit of room. Can you see there's a diastema there? So that space will come in handy there anteriorly. There we go. Just remove the wax there so that I do not obstruct my view and that you can actually see clearly what is happening. So I've just slightly moved my teeth backwards, but as you can see, I have not affected my occlusion at all. So I'm going to try again and set my canine. Yay. Oh, sorry. So as you can see, it fits perfectly. But now what we want the neck to be prominent. So let's have a look. Right, so it looks good. I'm just going to refine my teeth a bit so they actually look natural. Let me first seal in my canine before I do that. Right, so with the neck of the canine, because it is prominent, it would not necessarily be at the center of the ridge. It will actually be the canine's incisal edge that is going to be on the ridge. You need a lot of patience when you set up the mandibular anterior teeth. A lot of patience. Okay, that's good. Let's try this side. Right, more of a distal inclination, and the neck must be prominent, so it fits. Yay. So okay, so I have my teeth all set in. Now it's just a matter of refining my my overjet. So if you look here on around this canine, I have a lot of overjet, but as you go around, you're gonna see it's very minimal, and if you come this side, it's very minimal. So I'm gonna try and match my overjet to this side, or try and balance out the space. The important thing here is that I've managed to actually fit all my teeth and have all my inclinations to be correct. Now it's just a matter of tweaking the teeth until I balance out the overjet. Okay, I may need to just add a bit of wax in that area. So let's see now. Yay! So as you can see, it looks balanced. Okay, it's still a bit more than that side, so I need to balance out this side. Okay, so at this point on, I can check if I have balanced occlusion. So what I need to do is, so before I do that, I actually need to just seal my teeth in. So from the top view, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, again, the arch curvature looks uniform and symmetrical. See my overjet, overbite. You don't see any separation between the teeth. So that's what you want to try and achieve. So now I'm going to try and check for my balance occlusion. So I'm going to unscrew the nuts up here, and I'm going to just gently move my teeth from the articulator from left to right. Gently. The excursive movement should be about 2 millimeters. So what you want to see, so as you can see here, so if I'm doing that, currently it's only my premolars that are touching. There's a bit of contact with the last molars, but there's absolutely no contact with the first molar. So I need to sort that out. Okay, and when you are doing these excursive movements, right, it should be that even anteriorly, can you see between the laterals, there's a bit of movement. I mean, there's a bit of contact there. So you need to try and achieve for that to be the case. So let's see this side. So again, okay, so this side looks much better. You can see all my teeth are actually contacting. Let me just remove that wax on my last molars so that you can see clearly what is happening there. So let's see. Okay, there seems to be only contact on the premolars, the first molar, and not so much on the last molar. So also I need to try and sort that out. How would I sort that out? I will push my mandibular molars up, or the teeth that are not contacting, to try and get a tighter contact. So again, here anteriorly, can you see with my laterals, there's like a slight contact there, so that's what you want to try and achieve. So what I'm checking now is the working sides. So again, this side, right, so that's my working side. With that said, when you're checking the working side, you also want to check your balancing side. It's actually not going to be, I don't think it will be so clear. Actually, I think it is. So with I think my balancing sides look fine. So when I'm doing that, let me see, can we focus? Okay, let me try and put in a zoom. Maybe it might be better. Let's see. So, okay, focus. So when I'm moving the teeth, you can't really see clearly. Try that again. Get the camera to focus. Okay, it's not really focusing, but hopefully you're going to see. So if you look, when my teeth actually move, there's contact between the maxillary lingual cusp slopes and the mandibular buccal cusp slopes. So that's how I know that I have a good balancing side. So I can check this side as well. So this side, the last molars actually do not have contact. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see, it's unclear, but yeah, I think you can see it's the last molar, there's no contact there. So I need to also try and sort that out. So as I've mentioned before, that the way to improve your bilateral balance occlusion is by moving your teeth up so that there's a better contact between the teeth. Another thing that could be obstructing your bilateral balance occlusion is if you have wax on your occlusal surfaces. So at this point in time, I'm just removing all the wax from the my posterior occlusal surfaces, and then I'm going to just retest the bilateral balance occlusion, and if it happens that it's still not what I want, then I will shift my mandibular posterior teeth up. But I'm quite happy with my with my mandibular anterior teeth. Yeah, and one thing that I just want you to note is can you see how the canines actually have prominent necks compared to your centrals and laterals? So that's what you want to have. And yeah, as you can see, it's all within the confines of the ridge, so nothing is really sticking out along the centrals and laterals. Just one thing that I forgot to mention, when you are checking your bilateral balance occlusion, you need to ensure that when you are moving your articulator from left to right, that the incisal pin is actually sitting on the incisal table. So it should be like so. All right, so again, it's gentle movements. So there is a bit of improvement with my bilateral balance occlusion. As you can see now, all my teeth are contacting. Let's check this side as well. So that's what you want to have, so you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double check if my maxillary teeth are still sitting properly on the occlusal plane table, and if all is well, then I'm going to start and festoon.